I figured that people looked in the magazines and knew that there was something else going on besides a little pill. And that's what I said in the movie too. I said, if you think you're going to take a pill and look like me, then you need to be smarter than that.
And you were fired pretty quickly when this came out?
Actually, I was fired on the rumor that I did the movie. They didn't even see the movie and I was fired.
Unfortunately, there's still some editors out there that actually believe that if they put a black male on the cover, that sales will actually drop.
Today, Christian Boeving, one of the top fitness models, is here. He's in the new documentary, Bigger, Stronger, Faster. He told the truth about steroid usage and was fired by one of his sponsors. And later in the show, Obi Obidake says there are very few black fitness models, and he's working to change that. And Scott Jenkins from Florida will show you a new way to do push-ups. Great to have you here today.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Thank you very much.
Well, you know, I was there. I saw your movie last night.
Yeah, what'd you think?
You were not very politically correct. This was not, don't use steroids, I don't use steroids. It was, I do use steroids.
But you know, I think honestly, why is everybody worried so much about being PC, politically correct? It's like sometimes you don't need to be politically correct. It's like the woman who spilled, you know, coffee on her lap from McDonald's and sued McDonald's and won $100 million. Why did that even make it to court? That set a precedence for everybody else. Steroids, I said that I've used them since I was 16 years old.
Okay, you've used them.
Yes.
So what do you do? How much are you using?
So much. It's like, no, I don't use that much. That's the thing. It's like, what happens in America is more is better. It's like supersize me all over again, but it's with everything. If this much works, well, this much must be better. And that's just not the way it works, because you're talking about drugs now. I mean, you're talking about something that's not natural for your body to do. You see these bodybuilders with these big stomachs, right? On stage. These guys are in shape, they're on stage, and they've got these rippled stomachs, but they're out to here. Do you know what that is? That's from the abuse of steroids and growth hormone. But what that is that's their intestines pushing out.
So you say there is no problem with using steroids, it's the abuse of steroids.
Once again, it comes down to age. It comes down to a lot of different things. Like, we don't die from getting old as human beings. We die from the things we can't combat when we get old. Okay. What are we deficient in? Growth hormone and testosterone as men. We start to drop at 25 years old. So all I do, what people should do, I think, is put back those levels to where they were at 25, and you just prevent pretty much getting sick. I haven't had the common cold in 15 years, literally. And you hear about roid rage, you hear these things. I've never had roid rage, I've never had acne, I've never had hair loss, but I don't abuse it. I've worked with the doctor all the time.
So you're saying you've never experienced any side effects?
I had gynecomastia one time.
And you want to tell them what that is? I heard last night.
Yeah, that's not fun, actually. That's when, well, the thing is, back when I was a teenager, I was using, well, but I'm leading up to it because I don't want to gross them out and make them switch the channel. What happens is I was taking 3 cc's of testosterone. Like, I'm under a doctor's supervision. I actually am deficient in testosterone, so I have a prescription for it. But back then I didn't know how much to take. I was having to get it from the black market because it's illegal. You have to go to the black market to get it, which if it wasn't illegal, you could go and not do that, obviously. But I was taking 3 cc's, where now I take 1 cc. But because the testosterone has estrogen-like effects with it, the estrogen makes us grow breasts. So it's not hot. So I grew some pretty big size.
And
I turned myself on. That's how hot I was with the breast.
And what shocked me last night was you said you had to have surgery to correct it?
Yeah, they have to actually cut your nipple off and then go inside and cut it and dissect it, and depending on how big it is, mine was actually the first time. I've had it done twice.
Twice?
Was the size
Twice?
Yeah.
When?
I think I learned.
How much later?
Well, once it developed, I was probably 20 years old. And it was so big, it was the size of a plum. I had to go to the University of Chicago to have it taken out.
Oh.
So they cut the nipple off. Really?
Yeah.
Did you do surgery on me?
No.
I thought they didn't recognize you. But they had to cut it into force and pull it out that way, and then they put your nipple back on, and they have to, you know, it's a surgery, but the thing is you can take something.
Okay, but I just want you to know this is not really painting a pretty picture for steroids here, because the other thing I hear, okay, and for guys, I mean, stuff shrinks, and I'll tell you, when I heard that, I mean, and I know, and I guess you said that last night, if you tell me things are shrinking and things are growing, I'm thinking this is not sounding very good here.
That's true, that's true. But here's the flip side of the coin. First of all, I took too much of testosterone. If I hadn't taken that much, like, I don't have that happen now, because I take the right amount. If something's shrinking, you might be abusing it a little bit. I mean, what is this down here that's shrinking? That's testosterone. So why would that shrink if you put the right amount of testosterone in? That shrinks when people take these mass amounts of steroids. If you do have testicle shrinkage, there's actually something you take right after that will bring them back and probably bigger and better than ever before. So actually, You know,
there's a drug for everything.
There's a drug for everything. But really, it's not about, I mean, we're kind of escaping what I'm talking about doing it for. It's for the health benefits. We're the health industry. I want to stay healthy. I mean, I'm not these guys walking around at 300 pounds on stage. I mean, I've been a fitness model for 12 years, a professional fitness model for 12 years. I don't want to come off as this person who looks like they take steroids. But then again, for the industry that we're in, if you're going to go watch a baseball game, are you going to watch and pay top dollar to see your next door neighbor hit a home run? Probably not. Why? Because you can watch him do it next door, because he's a regular guy. Are you going to put a regular guy on the cover of a magazine? Why would you?
Okay,
a
couple points there. Now, I know that there is testosterone, growth hormone, certain. I've done interviews with anti-aging doctors, and I know that there are certain things that can be used in an anti-aging regimen, for one thing.
Right.
But are you saying for professional sports that you think that steroid usage, not in an anti-aging context, but in a just play better, faster, stronger, is the way to go? And for young kids, what about the high school athlete?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not, because I'm 6'1". My dad's 6'5". My grandfather's 6'7". His father was 6'7". My brother's 6'9". I'm 6'1" because why? Probably because I took steroids at 16 and I stunted my growth, realistically.
So you do admit that there's probably, okay.
I think kids should never take steroids, because the only reason they would take them is for vanity reasons, which is stupid, or because they want to be better in sports, which is also stupid, because you're not a professional sports athlete. Until you have to make a decision for that reason only, then you have to decide. But it's like saying, if you were living in the 18th century and you got the flu, which most people would die if they got the flu back then, well, what if your mom came up with Robitussin? Would you take it? Of course you'd take it, because wow, we have something that's going to heal us. Well, why are steroids not Robitussin today? Why is that not the fact? I mean, the thing is, who made those things illegal? The people who made them illegal don't even know why they're illegal. Literally, if you saw in the movie,
the guys you don't think it's any more dangerous than medicine to treat the common cold?
I don't think it's any more dangerous than a birth control pill is to a woman.
Okay.
Not whatsoever.
And that's part of the point of the movie, though, is that things like alcohol or even other
exactly.
drugs.
Cigarettes.
Viagra,
Let's go after something that actually kills people. Not one human being in the world has died from steroid use. And I'm not saying abuse.
Well, right.
Chris Benoit. Let's talk about the cocaine.
Right, you know, I mean, there are the news reports, at least, where you hear where somebody, they claim. Well, heart and liver damage. Do you personally feel that there's a risk of heart or liver damage from steroid use?
There is. There is, absolutely, but no more than alcohol. Because the thing is, once again, let's just paint a different picture. And it's not stupidity, it's ignorance on the public's part. Because the government and the people who are in the power of the place, they don't want people to know about steroids, except that their favorite athletes are taking them, which is kind of weird, but I'll come back to that in a second. If you were going to take a steroid, say you're going to take a cycle of steroids, and you had to face either a syringe filled with steroids that big, and the needle is this long, and it's the size of a pencil lead, and you're going to put it in your butt, and you're going to push that in, and you're going to do that
another
every
reason
week.
I don't take steroids.
Or you could take 10 pills a day, and you'll do the same thing. What would you do?
Neither.
You have to take one.
But I've heard that there is,
most people would say, oh, I'd take the pills. I would absolutely take the pills. Well, you have to take 70% more to get the same effect.
I've read, we talked about this some last night, but I've heard that there's scar tissue if you use the needle.
There is, but that just gives you a harder butt. Think of it that way. Bounce a quarter off your butt. No, you're going to have scar tissue. Anytime you go in and you pull back out, you're going to have scar tissue, but it's so minimal.
Well, your speaking out has had one definite consequence, is that you were, for 9 years, you've been the face of
Muscle Tech,
and you were fired pretty quickly when this came out?
Actually, I was fired on the rumor that I did the movie. They didn't even see the movie, and I was fired. But once again, it's like I live in a very small community, really. As you know, you're in part of it yourself.
Everybody knows everybody.
It's everybody who knows everybody, but I travel within this circle of fitness people and pro athletes and things like that. And I do a lot of seminars all over the world, and I talk just like I'm talking in the movie, like I'm talking now to people. So I always just assume that people know there's no such thing as a fat burner. You can't burn a fat cell. It never goes away. It shrinks, but it won't go away. So I just figured people knew that. They don't. I figured that people looked in the magazines and knew that there was something else going on besides a little pill. And that's what I said in the movie too. I said, if you think you're going to take a pill and look like me, then you need to be smarter than that. And you do, because it's not just about steroids either, though. It's a lifestyle. It's how you eat. It's how you sleep. It's how you train. It's your lifestyle. You can't sit on the couch and be a bum and take a pill and go, hey, I've got abs. It doesn't work that way. Well, maybe it works that way for 1 out of 1 billion people.
So the movie suggests, and you suggest, that a lot of the supplements aren't really, it's not clear what they're really doing and how effective they are.
That's true, but they're a supplement. That's the other thing, is these companies that are supposed to be taking care of the public, they're doing everything but sometimes. It's a $60 billion a year industry, yet we're fatter than ever before. And you know, we talk about this all the time when I come on here. Why is this country, of all countries, why is this country fatter than ever before? It's not just laziness, because supplements are being sold at the record time. It's because they don't know what they're taking. It's like these companies, some of them now, not Muscle Tech, they didn't do that. I have to admit that they have good products for what they do, but they're supplements. They're not meal replacements. They're supplements. They supplement what you're already doing. But some companies will say, okay, here's a fat burner, and we're going to put niacin in it, although we're not going to say what niacin, we're going to say it has something else. Niacin gives your body a hot flush. You get really, really hot for like 30 seconds. Most people would think, wow, I'm burning body fat. You're not doing anything except getting hot. It doesn't even speed your heart up. But all fat burners do is speed your heart up. That's it.
Well, the movie suggests, and I'm wondering if you would agree, that it would seem that a lot of other people out there are doing this as well. I mean, when you look at the Mr. Olympia contests, that, you know, these guys are pretty big, and you know, there are guys who are shorter than Arnold, quite a bit shorter than Arnold, and practically, well, I would say twice his weight, but I mean, you know, 300, if you're 5'9" or 10 or something and 300 pounds.
That's the thing. And it's like, when I got into bodybuilding, I was looking at Arnold and I said, that's what I want to look like. And I got out of bodybuilding one day when I realized I was 315 pounds and wasn't happy, and my whole life revolves around eating and sleeping and training, and that's not life. I want to do this. This is supposed to make your life more fun. When you're in the health and fitness industry, you're supposed to go out and have a better life. It's not supposed to be miserable, which it was. So I started becoming an advocate of that type of a lifestyle, obviously, like Arnold used to be back in the 70s.
Are these
and 80s.
people having a better life, though?
Absolutely not. No, I mean, you see these guys and you see them in the magazines, that's what they look like one day out of the year. The other 364 days, they look like fat blobs and they can't move because they weigh probably 60 pounds more than you see them on stage. And it's the most unhealthy thing in the world. It's not their fault, though. The judges keep, you know, placing higher and higher if you get bigger and bigger and bigger. So it's up to them to stop. They have to say, okay, you're too big, it's disgusting. We're going to take first place and give it to this guy. Somebody like a Bob Paris or a Barry DeMay. I don't know if those names mean anything to you, but they were 6'1", 230 pounds. They look great. They were the guy that guys wanted to look at and go, I have a saying, I won't say the same words, but I want to be the guy that guys look at and go, I want to look like that, and the guy that girls look at and go, I want to be with that. You know, you want to be like accepted. That's what's going to sell products. That's what we're here for.
But you said there's a tendency, though, for the supplement companies to endorse the people who are at the more extreme end, who are probably doing something which also encourages people to do something.
Well, that's the thing. And the problem is, it's like Barry Bonds, Clemens. These guys are on the stand right now because they've taken steroids and growth hormone. Well, what kid is at home watching that going, wow, I hate them now? It's always the parents going, what am I going to tell my kids? Well, the kids are just going, who gives a shit, Dad? I don't care. He's taking steroids. I want to take steroids because that's my hero. So whose fault is it that those kids know about steroids? It's the people putting it on TV. So don't put it on TV. I had to investigate what a steroid was when I was a kid.
You said in Europe, though, steroids are legal to this day?
Pretty much every country but America. Pretty much every country. You can walk into Mexico right now and buy any steroid you want. You can walk into 90% of the places in Europe and buy any steroid you want. Why? Because they're not that dangerous.
Thank you, Christian. We'll be right back.
You.
And we are back. Joining me now is Obi Obadike. Great to have you here today,
yes,
Obi.
Sir. Nice to meet you.
He's a fitness model here in Southern California. One of his portfolio picks. How much do you weigh?
Right now, I'm about 195, between 193 and 195.
Okay, and you're how tall?
I'm about 6'1".
6'1", okay. Yeah. Well, you look like you should be on the cover of those magazines, but you say that there aren't a whole lot of black fitness models out there.
No, it's African-American fitness models are really struggling to be on the cover of fitness magazines. When you can actually count on one hand how many black males you've actually seen on the cover of a magazine that wasn't a celebrity. In 2008, I think it's kind of sad and be really honest, quite ridiculous. You know, I actually did some statistics. They publish 12 fitness magazines a year, and I did my statistics on 5 fitness magazines. And of those 5 fitness magazines I did my statistics on, they've never put an African American male on the cover of the magazine. The misperception, from what I've heard, is that unfortunately, there's still some editors out there that actually believe that if they put a black male on the cover, that sales will actually drop.
But if they've never tried, would they really?
Yeah, absolutely. It honestly, I think right now there's so many beautiful and attractive, fit African American guys that would love to get the opportunity to be on the cover of a magazine and be able to inspire people. And I think right now is probably the perfect time. We just embarked on history, having an African-American Democratic nominee for presidency.
Probably the next president.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think right now is a perfect time. I want to be that guy that can do that,
Well,
that can
and
spearhead
indeed,
that change.
I should say that I believe you apparently are about to make some history yourself.
Absolutely.
With your cover.
Absolutely.
What's going on with that?
Well, we are basically the first African-American male and female on the cover of Fitness magazine for Max Sports and Fitness. The idea, I planted the idea to Clark Bartram, international fitness legend. He's a mentor to me, and he pitched it to the editor, and they loved it, and they were open to change and diversity, and now it's going to be coming out in the September issue. So I'm definitely very, very excited, and I'm hoping that this cover is really going to create more opportunities for more African American fitness models, and that's really my goal. One of my first goals is obviously to inspire people to be healthy and fit, but my second goal is really to be the Jackie Robinson of fitness model. I want to be that guy that can create opportunities for other African American fitness models that aspire to be on the cover of fitness magazines.
Now, it's interesting. You told me you've actually had quite a bit of success as a sports model.
As a sports model, I've been involved as a sports model since 1994. I've done probably about 10 to 11 national commercials. The most
Gatorade and
the most famous one is a Gatorade commercial called The Winning Formula, and it's actually considered one of the greatest Gatorade commercials ever. It was aired domestically and internationally. And so I've had quite a success doing that, and this is actually my first year breaking into the fitness modeling side, the fitness magazine side. I've been doing more of the sports modeling for the Nike, Adidas, and
some big names. But yet you told me when we were talking the other day that you were actually, I mean, it's weird in a way that you can have that kind of success in sports modeling, but yet you said you were so, I don't know, disappointed or frustrated on the fitness side that you pretty much gave it up, or thought it was hopeless?
I had an opportunity when I was 19 to break into this industry. I got into sports modeling when I was 19, and I had an opportunity to break in, but I unfortunately was very youthful and very negative, and I never really saw African Americans on the cover. And then I was like, well, why should I get into the industry? Because the money's not much either, you know. And so I had this negative attitude.
So you just thought it couldn't be done.
Yeah, I just thought it couldn't be done,
well
and I'm
anyway,
upset at myself because I'm 32 right now, and I'm breaking into the industry right now, and I honestly started really this year, early this year, and probably have had much quicker success than I even anticipated, to be really honest with you. But you can't do it alone. You know, you do definitely need great people that know people to break yourself into the industry. And like I said, Clark Bartram has definitely been the individual that really has walked me through networks of contacts that I could never.
Of course, he's very well known in the industry. And,
Absolutely.
And he was actually your mentor, kind of a sponsor for the Fame event coming up in later.
No, actually, I competed in his America's Fittest Model competition, where I'm a finalist, which will be coming out in the fall. But I'm actually competing in the Fame World Championships in Toronto, actually in a couple of days. And I'm actually the first Fame athlete to actually compete as a pro without ever competing in the Fame competition. I got an incredible recommendation from Clark Bartram to the Fame president, and so I was able to bypass all the novice levels and compete as a pro. So there's a lot of hype around me. They've been sending newsletters and pumping me up, this new guy. So I'm really looking forward to competing in Toronto, and I believe that I can win the world title. It's the World Championships. They have it every 2 years. And it's one of the biggest events in Toronto, Canada. So I'm very excited about the opportunity. Fame is one of the best natural sports organizations out there promoting athletes. That's their main goal, is to promote athletes, fitness models. And I'm just excited of the opportunity, and I'm very thankful for Mindy and Jeff for giving me the opportunity to compete as a pro and elevating me to pro without ever competing in a Fame competition, which has never been done before.
Well, going back to the cover issue, you had told me that you were actually aware of an email that someone had sent. I'm trying to keep it vague enough to keep us out of trouble.
Of course.
But where someone had pitched you for a cover, or I shot a cover attempt for a magazine that will remain nameless, by the way. I was told by a reliable source that we'll give him the workout, but we won't give him the cover because he's black, and in the email.
This was via email. This is what I was told.
2008 in the email.
In the email, right?
Because he's black.
Right. This is what I was told. Yeah. This is what I was told, and the cover is incredible. I mean, it's actually, yeah, the cover is incredible. It's an incredible cover, and you know, so this is what I was told. And when when this individual told me that, I was very depressed. I was so depressed. I was like, man, 2008. That someone actually could say that. You know what I'm saying?
Because these days, to be honest, I hate to say this, but even if somebody were racist or biased or whatever it is that leads people to say that, I would think that they'd know better to hide it, or, you know, it's not politically correct to say that in an email.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying you should think it to begin with, but to put it in an email, I mean, wow, that's like
So
asking for a lawsuit.
No, it's you know, obviously it definitely, I was depressed when I heard it, but I think if anything, it's motivated me even more to really, you know, push. And I'm optimistic. I think there's going to be change. I honestly believe that. Especially, I never even thought in my wildest dreams that we would obviously have a potential to have a black president in my lifetime, and now there's an opportunity. So when you see stuff like that, you actually realize that, you know what, there are going to be more opportunities for African American fitness models, and I want to spearhead that change, and I will.
Well, go for it, and much success to you, Obi. Good luck with the cover and also the contest coming up in the fall.
Thank you very much.
We'll be right back.
All right.
And we are back. Joining me now is Scott Jenkins from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Great to have you here today, Scott.
Thanks for having me on the show.
You can see him on the cover of the March 2008 Exercise for Men Only. You said you wanted this cover for 6 years. Is that?
Well, this isn't me on the cover.
That's not you.
Here. No. I got 6 pages inside the magazine.
Oh.
Right here, yes.
You're not on the cover, okay.
No cover, no.
But we've got the... What have we got here?
We've got a shot here from the photographer Ken Sergi, and the shot in the magazine.
Okay, you're like the centerfold.
Yeah.
Okay, that was 6 years in the making. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you got there.
I finally got there. Yeah, I'm very excited about that.
So you tell me people are often surprised when they find out your age.
Yeah, a lot of them are. I'm just turning 38, and I've been modeling now for about 12 years, and finding that I thought that I was going to do more of the fashion industry. Found that fitness was more of something that I really enjoyed. I love taking care of myself. And so as I was doing it more and more and getting more experienced and meeting pro athletes and doing things for myself to look better, feel better, now I'm finding I'm modeling more into the fitness industry, which I'm very excited about. So
it's not, I don't want to say too old to get into it, but it's great that at 38 that you're still...
I'm very blessed. I have to say I'm very blessed. You know, taking care of yourself is so important, drinking a lot of water, eating the right foods. Again, cheating is fine, having some foods that you like, but everything in moderation. And taking care of yourself with good supplements is so important today.
And you have a Muscle Mania event coming up?
Yes, I am doing the Model Universe division of Muscle Mania. Yes, that's coming up June 21st. Very excited. That's one of my biggest events.
And where is that?
That is going to be held in Miami.
In Miami, okay. And now, so what's this? You're telling me you have a new way of doing push-ups, or a different way than most people?
A lot of times, you know, we want to get a quick little pump, and out of our chest muscles, every guy wants a good chest. And being that getting the blood into the chest and having to go to the gym and do all these presses, push-ups, as you can see, a lot of the guys in the military have great chests because they're doing push-ups all the time. And basically doing the push-ups, you know, it's basically a tip. Keeping stress on the muscle is going to help the muscle develop more.
So how many push-ups do you do?
Well, I can do anywhere up to 50, 60, but the main thing is not always doing that. It's being able to do the push-up, stop at the top, rest, and give yourself a few seconds, and then go into it a little slower motion.
So not just the number, it's how you do it.
Exactly.
Okay, I'll have you, if you can demonstrate for us here in a minute. I just want to say though, I interviewed Herschel Walker recently, and he told me that he does something like, I might have it reversed, but it was something like 1,500 push-ups a day and 2,500 sit-ups, or 2,500 push-ups and 1,500 sit-ups. I guess it would be the other way around, but
sure.
That's a hell of a lot of push-ups.
It sure is.
Like to me.
Yeah,
but you don't have to do 1,500?
No, you don't have to do 1,500. You know, the main thing is just it's your timing. It's being able to do them one day and be able to do them in a couple more days.
Okay. Well, why don't you show us the right way to do it or the most effective way to do
Well,
it here?
yeah, when you're doing the push-up, again, as you would get into your regular position of doing the push-up, and again, you can move your hands inside, outside to get development on your chest. But basically, when you're doing your push-up and you're getting them, and most people are like, well, I can only do a couple of them. I can't do that many. Get what you can, keep in your proper form. Get to that point of fatigue instead of just quitting and just stopping. Stay into that position and then just work it as best that you can and just slow it down a little bit. Keep the stress on the muscle and keep the press going. And guys, if they're doing them and you got to go to your knees after doing 50 of them, don't worry about it. Go to your knees. It's very easy. It'll keep the muscle going. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So, but at least 50, is that what you're shooting for?
Well, yeah. I mean, some people can only do like 20 or 30, and you know, sometimes you want to just keep going and get a good pump out of it. But even at that point, I will give that little rest period.
All right, I'll try it. Well, thank you very much for being
Absolutely.
here today, Scott.
Thanks
I
for
appreciate
having
it.
me. I
Thanks
appreciate
for coming
it.
in for Florida.
Thanks
Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next time.